The Cash Landrum incident is sort of a unicorn within the designation of close encounters of the second kind. Because, like I said, most of them are just marks in the ground and the grass, landing strut impressions and stuff like that. That's your prototypical close encounters of the second kind. You don't often get physical reactions by people from just seeing a UFO up close or a UFO that has landed. So evidence of that nature is pretty rare. There were some within the Rendlesham Forest incidents in 1980. The two airmen, much after the fact, talked about some of the issues that they had. But at the time, they didn't really claim to have any. But the two ladies in the Cash Landrum incident almost immediately started having physical abnormalities about it. And we're going to watch a clip of them talking about it in just a second. But something I think is interesting about the whole thing is the fact that the grandson, Colby, when the ladies got out to look at this UFO, they told him to crawl under the dashboard in the bed or in the front of the car. So was that him being shielded by whatever this light was emitting from the UFO that the ladies seemed to succumb to? It's an interesting thing to think about.
Over the next few days, I kept losing big patches of skin on my face, and about half my hair fell out. They kept me in the hospital over a month with no improvement. I have cancer. I was operated on in March 1983, and the doctors could not say if they got it all.
The fear of ridicule kept Betty from telling about her UFO encounter. But weeks later, when patches of her hair started falling out, she told her doctor about the incident.
She and Colby Lee suffered long periods of nausea. Betty Cash was hospitalized immediately after the event. She suffered severe hair loss and was also treated for burns and nausea. Since then, she has been hospitalized several times.
Now, both ladies eventually did pass away from this alleged radioactivity that they somehow came in contact with. But the grandson, Colby, never really had any issues. It was just the ladies when they stepped out to look at this UFO that was hovering above them.
It was the first time that I went into the hospital, they were treating us as burns. But then, after they found out really what had happened, then they started to treating us as radioactive burns. And since, I have had cancer.
Inside the car, it was so hot till my handprint is yet on the dashboard of Betty's car. It was diamond-shaped.
We thought it was the end of time.
I says, Colby, don't be afraid. I said, if you see a man, it'll be Jesus.
Betty further maintains that she had no cancer history previous to the alleged encounter. Her records do confirm, however, that she does now have the disease.
So that's interesting about this news story talking about how previous medical records showed that neither woman had any history or diagnosis of having cancer. And since it was determined that this cancer was quite possibly caused by high radiation exposure that they were succumbed to.
It's a package of symptoms that all three had, and all three being different kinds of people. That's the significant thing. From their age, their past history, medical history, etc., but they all had common symptoms.
Well, I just had a feeling to look up in the sky. I looked around a little bit more and I saw that object. It looked like a diamond. He lit up the whole sky.
I do expect them to take care of my medical bills and what I have had to go through with and what I'm still going through with and what I may have to continue for years. The object lit up the surrounding pine woods like it was daylight. I was burning. My skin was burning.
Well, you must have been terrified. How long did the craft hover over you?
Oh, about 20 minutes. Fire was coming out of the bottom like a blowtorch. It lifted up and then flew over the trees.
That was when we saw the helicopters come out.
The helicopters?
Colby County, 23 of them.
And I understand, in fact, you later identified them as CH-47 Chinook military helicopters.
Yes, it seemed that they were trying to escort the craft somewhere. It looked like they were about to collide. The roar sounded like a tornado.
I'm mad as hell, and disappointed with the government of our United States.
That's the interesting part about this entire story is, of course, you can expect that the government, the military, has denied any knowledge of chasing a UFO. So, of course, you would expect them, specifically in the 80s, to do so. So, the only real proof of this incident actually happening were the stories by the two ladies and the young boy. So, is the radiation exposure a good sign of a close encounters of the second kind? Or what about the helicopters?